right, it's Hump Day, August 19th, 2026. I am Peaches. Let's start off this show with a Cheers and Jeers segment. I'm stealing this from one of my favorite radio shows in the country here in LA. Cheers and Jeers, it's where I share something positive and then I share something negative. You ready for this? My cheers is I rented my car last night for my week-long trip back home. I got myself a minivan. Yeah, that's right. I love how the music stopped right at that moment, too. We still haven't fixed that problem. Maybe I'll add that to the jeers here in just a few. I decided, you know what? The last time the minivan was so enjoyed by everybody that I rented an even newer minivan. It was rather cheap, too. 2023 Toyota Sienna XLE. It's a hybrid, too. Great gas mileage. 36 mpg. I'm going to be driving that thing around Laguna Beach, driving it down PCH. I tell my friend Christian he's going to sit in the very back row just so he can enjoy the entire car, I guess. So, yeah, I rented that car last night. That was my cheer. Now, my jeer is, right as I got here this morning, you know how your body has a habit of going to the restroom at the same time every day? I start off my mornings, for the most part, with this black tea, a mushroom elixir that has raw apple cider vinegar in it. Usually that's the culprit that makes me go to the restroom immediately. No, I just had to go, and sure enough, right as I am about to leave for the restroom, I look at my email. The water people are back. They shut off the water. It's going to be off for about an hour. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. So I said, you know what? We'll be positive here. We'll be okay. We'll go to the Maverick down the street and go use the restroom over there. Sure enough, I take up their stall. I do my thing, get out of the bathroom. But as I'm walking out of the bathroom, I hear a train horn going off. I'm like, oh no. I'm hoping this train isn't all that much of a burden. I wasn't able to get out of that area for about 10 minutes or 15 minutes or so. 10, 15 minutes, around there. Yeah, I wasn't able to get out of there at all. The train was that long. There were so many cars waiting their turn. I finally had to do this weird thing where I snuck across 2 lanes of traffic, and luckily people were nice enough to let me out. I was stuck on the side. I almost parked. I think I did park at one point. So yeah, there's my jeer, having to use the restroom across the street. None of that would have happened if the bathroom was running perfectly fine here. If you want to get a hold of me, you can, 208-535-1015. Oh, yeah, and then I went to the break room to go grab a knife for my rice cakes, my yogurt to put on my rice cakes. And the water in the break room is running. The sink was just running on its own. I thought some, dumb DJ decided, you know what, I'm going to leave the sink on. And so I turned the sink off. Sure enough, Andrew comes running out. Did you turn the water off? It's like, yeah, if you see a sink running for the most part by itself, you turn the water off. That's the whole point. Well, I got in trouble for turning the water off, apparently. I'm waiting for Jay to come yell at me, too. Anyway, it's Peach's Pit Party right here on K-Barrel 101. K-Barrel 101, Idaho's only rock station. Do you have degree regret? Did you go to college and get what they call a useless degree? You know, choosing a college major, definitely a big decision. I had no idea what I wanted to do growing up. Even all throughout high school, no idea. I thought I was going to go to college, and play basketball, and then all of a sudden just go to the NBA because I was tall. My parents, they were trying their best to let me down softly, to tell me, hey, you suck at the sport, dude. You're not going to make it far with the sport at all. You need to get a real education. So my mom sent in a college application for me to Cal State Long Beach to be a kinesiology major, which I still have interest in. If radio does not work out, I think I would go back to school, get that degree, and become like a physical therapist or something, or even a nutritionist, you know? Turn my life around for better. I know those people make way more money than radio DJs do. I was reading something here about degree regret. The majors linked to the most regret are political science, international relations, public policy. Here's mine: communications, media studies, public relations. Oh, and then physical sciences like chemistry. Why do they regret those? Why do they regret that? I mean, my degree is not even communications. It's cinema and television arts. It was originally radio, TV, film, and then the dean of the department was like, no, we need to drop radio because nobody cares about that anymore. We're only going to cater to TV and film. I had to take a lot of film classes in college, and it sucked. I had to see a lot of boring movies. Those film snobs, those people suck too. You know, they're the ones to tell you got to see the Odyssey the right way. You got to go see it in IMAX theater, 70 millimeter film or whatever it is. You know, I had to watch that boring movie, The Tree of Life with Brad Pitt. Also, 2001: A Space Odyssey. I watched that movie in a philosophy class, and that class sucked too. Anyway, let's stop complaining here. Here's Evanescence Afterlife on K-Bear 101. I was put in a bad mood because I had to go use the restroom down the street or whatever, you know. And then when I got back finally after that 15, 20-minute long bathroom trip because the train got in the way, they told me the water was back on. So at least there's that. All right, it's Peach's Pit Party on K-Bear 101. Let's talk about this thread here. I know I've done enough complaining this afternoon so far, but I really wanted to laugh at this too, because this person by the name of Meng, an unpopular opinion, says owning a dog just straight up sucks. Well, he didn't use just straight up. I had to censor it. Owning a dog, bleep, sucks. This person goes to say, growing up until I was 26, I never owned a dog. I had plenty of friends with dogs and always thought I'd love to have one. I knew pets were a responsibility, but I thought of it in a generic owning any pet is a big responsibility kind of way. Man, was I so naive. When I got married, we moved my wife's grandmother in with us, and my wife and her grandma got a hound mix together. Super sweet dog, very good girl, but I'm not here to talk about how dogs suck, just the absurd responsibilities that come with them. First off, the pooping. I have never been more scared in my life of walking into my own backyard. I've stepped on enough dog poop more times than I can count. On top of that, she has a hard time pooping, so instead of one spot, she leaves a whole trail of just business across the grass. Finding it all requires a full scan of the entire yard. If you're just now tuning in, I'm talking about this unpopular opinion post that says owning a dog sucks. So first of all, they're pooping. Second, they are fragile as ever, have zero self-awareness. The dog will approach and try to eat anything no matter how dodgy it looks. She literally ate a slug off the patio, and my wife and her grandma had to pay out the butt at the vet to fix it. Then there's the clinginess. She's sweet, does really cute stuff. What are people in the comments saying? This is so real and honest. Pay attention, people, and think long and hard before you get a dog. It's true. It is a commitment. Do I want to get a pet in the future? Not really. I mean, I grew up with all the pets. I grew up with 4 cats, 2 dogs, a rabbit, tortoises. The easiest ones are the fish and the tortoise. All right, that's it. Cats are a nuisance. I hate to say it to the cat people. Good for you for owning cats and taking care of them and giving them a proper home. I just couldn't do it. Also, my allergies would start going off every time I go to Victor's place, you know, to help him move something, because he never has me over to just hang out. I always have to move something for him. I have to have a tissue taped to my nose as I'm trying to lift the heavy bed frame or whatever he wants me to carry. I guess people are speeding everywhere else besides Idaho Falls, I feel like. Every time I'm out driving around, I'm going the speed limit. I'm not going over. I learned my lesson when I first moved out here, and I had the California license plates on my vehicle. I went 31 in a 25, and this cop pulled me over and acted like I just robbed and killed somebody. But anyway, I was reading here about how there's a new study looking at speeding drivers. Researchers found that people have gotten so used to driving over the posted limit that a lot of drivers basically treat the number on the sign as a suggestion. And you see it every day. You get on the freeway, the speed limit's 70, you're doing 72. Somebody flies past you doing 90, and you're like, where are the cops at to pull this person over? Teach them a lesson. Instead, they're worried about me with my California plate back in 2021, going, hey, this guy's not from around here. We'll show him. 31 and a 25, that's a big-time criminal offense. Whoa. I feel like so many people have come out here now since then that we have just overrun the entire state. There are people, even with Idaho plates, more so Idaho plates, speeding on the freeway. But then you drive, like, in town, like in Idaho Falls, for example, and I always get stuck behind those people. It almost feels like the Truman Show. I start looking around for hidden cameras, thinking I'm getting punked. Because there are these drivers that go like 15 below the speed limit for no reason at all. Whether they're old or they're just scared to drive, I don't know. But it feels like I go around a lot of people, especially when they try to make a right turn. There's no need to come to a complete stop unless you pull up to a red light. That's when you then stop completely to make the right turn. But there are people who just take a ride onto a street that, take their sweet time. They'll almost like stop completely in the middle of the street, and then they'll turn. Like there's no snow out or anything. You're fine. Just turn right. All right. I've done enough complaining on this afternoon show here today. I need to stop it. Stop it. Here's Cage the Elephant. Beaches in Tennessee on KBAR 101. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell believes that it's only a matter of time before there's a team that's not based in the U.S. And when that happens, it won't take too long before a Super Bowl takes place outside of the U.S. He says there are definitely international cities that could host something like that, but we would like to see an NFL team in such a city first. How would traveling be like? What would travel be like for that team? You have like the London Baggers or whatever. They have to travel all this way to play games in the U.S. Wouldn't that suck? LeBron James is not retiring for at least another season. We all know that. But it looks like one of his post-NBA career jobs will be YouTube golf influencer. James has launched a YouTube channel that's just for his golf exploits. The first video on the channel features James and his teammates from the 2016 Cleveland Cavaliers championship team celebrating their 10-year anniversary at Castle Stewart Golf Links at Cabot Highlands in Scotland. And this isn't just something shot with a couple of iPhones. It's a full-length production with shot tracers, multiple cameras, even footage off the course of the players reminiscing about their time together. It's an hour-and-a-half long YouTube video. So if you want something dumb to watch while you eat, I highly recommend that. The jersey worn by Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, then he was Lou Alcindor, during UCLA's victory in the 1968 NCAA National Championship game sold for $1.25 million. But the original price was much less, a transistor radio. Wait, what? The original price was much less, a transistor radio. Oh, okay. The UCLA and Lakers fan who put up the jersey for sale said he met a USC fan who had the jersey back in the mid-1970s. The USC fan was willing to part with it in the right trade, which ended up being the UCLA fan's transistor radio. I give him the radio, I got the jersey, which turns out now is a pretty good deal, I think. No kidding. Oh, good for you. That does it for your Shot Clock Sports Update right here on KBAR 101. I don't like the fact that August, of course, it's National Peach Month. I love that. August 22nd, National Peach Pie Day. The 24th is, 22nd is Eat a Peach Day. The 24th is Peach Pie Day. 27th is National Peach Day. And then the 29th, of course, is my birthday. The best day of them all, right? August, National Peach Month. My last name being Peach. I was born during National Peach Month. August is my month. All right. But also August is apparently National Hair Loss Awareness Month. And for those who don't know, I'm bald. And I enjoy it. All right. I thought I wouldn't. I thought people would see me as weird. When I was losing my hair, I was like, I'm going to hold on to it for as long as I can. And then sure enough, I got tired of all the comments made by people, a.k.a. Dade Javis. There was a time where Daughtry performed in Idaho Falls. He pointed at Chris Daughtry and said, "That's going to be you soon." Thanks, thanks, Dade. Really appreciate it. But sure enough, I pulled the trigger on shaving the head, and I have not looked back. All right? And if you're a balding dude that's contemplating just shaving it all off, go for it. Go to r/bald and look at all those different people, men and women, on there celebrating, shaving their heads, letting it all go, and you see them just look that much better. Here's Silent Theory, requested by our very own Maddie Kidd. At one point, she was wanting to shave her head, and I was like, well, you do you. It's your body, but you're You're going to look like Aang from Avatar. Here's Fragile Minds on K-Bear 101. Now, I don't necessarily want to say older, but for this is, I would think, for our older listeners. I say older, not in a bad way, all right? You remember Columbia House? That was before my time. And I'm not trying to rub that in. Columbia House was the place where you can get 12 CDs for a penny and then spend the next 3 years trying to figure out why you're suddenly receiving CDs you don't remember ordering. Well, it's finally shutting down. It was still around this whole time until now. Columbia House says it'll stop taking new orders September 15th. The music club everyone remembers actually ended years ago. So there's that, but the company kept the name around and eventually became a DVD mail order business. At its peak in the 90s, Columbia House had around 16 million members, was bringing in about $1.4 billion a year. Why did they just shut down now then, if they're bringing in that much money? My parents, they had the whole thing with them, and my parents have this giant wooden cabinet in their living room of all the CDs they have gotten from Columbia House. And they've tried explaining it to me as a kid, like, oh yeah, you can get the 12 CDs for a penny. And I just sat there confused with like the monkey in my head hitting the cymbals. And of course, my dad goes, hey, when we pass eventually, those CDs are going to become yours. Yay! I feel like such a boomer right now because I don't know how to turn this particular setting off in the K-Bear 101 app. I must have accidentally hit something to where it alerts me every single time Labyrinth by Showing Teeth is about to play. It just popped up not that long ago, or it popped up this morning, I should say, because I'm pre-recording this as of 9:50 a.m. And it popped up and went, why is it telling me this again? How do I turn this off? I feel like such an old person. But I'll figure it out. All right. Make sure to download the K-Bear 101 app. And if you have it, you can actually tell it to alert you any single time a specific song plays. There's that feature. Here's In This Moment, Crawl on Peach's Pit Party. Idaho's only rock station, K-Bear 101. I don't know if we talked about this yesterday or the day before, maybe even last week, but there was that Detroit news anchor who couldn't stop laughing after her co-host asked, would you eat beaver? Yeah, like they were talking about the animal beaver. Get your head out of the gutter. But yeah, this news anchor could not stop laughing after they asked, like, oh, you're supposed to eat the fatty part of the beaver and all this stuff. And it was just taken completely out of context, you know? Well, I don't know if this is the same channel or this is a completely different newsroom in Detroit. But there's now video going around of this now former news anchor, Taryn Asher, getting into a pretty heated argument with a colleague in the newsroom. They're talking about scripts and getting ready to record a PSA. And you can hear Taryn Asher getting more and more frustrated. Then she finally calls the woman a B word that isn't beaver. And then starts going off about how she's so done with her antics. And this is all happening while they're recording. The station later pulled Asher from the air over what it described as unprofessional workplace behavior and repeated outbursts. She's now suing Fox, saying she was treated differently from male employees. There's obviously a lot more going on than just a clip of somebody losing her temper. Don't you love that? You love seeing this kind of stuff go down. I love seeing DJs absolutely lose their mind. Maybe me and Victor should stage that one time just to get the attention on us, you know? I mean, we scream at each other quite often, but I can only imagine we just stage a fight or whatever. People would know it's fake, though. People would absolutely know it's fake. But there are times where we get into real serious heated arguments, like that one time we argued about the drummer for Volbeat being asymptomatic for COVID, and then Volbeat backed out of the Boise show, but then they performed the next night in Oregon. Yeah, that was a pretty heated argument that lasted for like half an hour on the air, and that was back when I first started, too. Were there any other crazy ones? I'll have to think about it. Maybe write them down. I don't know. Man, we're such rock stars around here that I decided to buy a bottle of not necessarily Tums, but antacids. You know, the Winco version that's much cheaper. Why are they so much cheaper compared to actual Tums? This is a day in the life of Peaches, wondering why is the price of Tums so high? Like the same bottle was $7 for the name brand. with the Winco brand of antacids, $2.50 something. I just donated a bottle of antacids. I don't think I can even call them Tums, because that's like a brand name. Like Kleenex is a brand name. Everything else is tissue. Q-tip, that's a brand name. Everything else is just a cotton swab, which you're not supposed to use those to clean your ears, but I do it anyway because I'm a rebel. That's the rock star in me. You know, even though I was just talking to Victor, I was just joking with him about how, like, we're such rock stars around here. We talk about our sleep apnea issues, talk about our tummy aches, our weight loss medications, whatever. No, I'm the only one taking a weight loss medication, GLP-1, you know. It just amped up my dosage. I had to make sure to take the right amount. I did not want to pull a Bobby Lee. There's a hilarious clip of him taking 4 times the amount of Ozempic needed, and then he just throws up everywhere. Yeah, don't be dumb with your medications. You know, don't. I can't believe he did that. First of all, it feels weird to like pull liquid out with a syringe and then inject it into myself. It feels like I'm doing hard drugs. So maybe I can pretend that I'm doing hard drugs to keep up with the rock star lifestyle fad. You know, pretend that I'm cool, putting a needle inside of me and injecting it. Peaches Pit Party right here on K-Bear 101. Millennials, what is something our generation was taught to accept that you're glad younger generations are rejecting? I saw the top reply here, being expected to be reachable for work outside work hours just because you own a phone. When I was at In-N-Out, it was the most annoying thing because they would try calling you in for a shift. You would say no, and then they would hit you with the dumbest phrase ever. Why don't you be a team player and come work and help us out a little bit, huh? No. Well, why not? Because if you want me to work, put me on the schedule and I'll work my scheduled shifts. Other than that, I'm enjoying life outside of flipping burgers, or in my case, working on fries or the pay window. They always stuck me at the pay window. They stuck their biggest employee at the tiniest window. I think they did that just to get a good laugh. Again, we're talking about millennials. What's something our generation was taught to accept that you're glad younger generations are rejecting? Young people addressing their mental well-being, seeking help when needed without shame is a huge advancement. Absolutely. If you feel like you need help, you can either dial 988 for immediate assistance, or you can go see a counselor, kind of like how I do. This one was funny. If someone is mean to you, that just means they like you. There was this girl by the name of Marcella that used to pick on me in elementary school, and I would tell my dad about it, and he would be like, that's because she likes you, Brendan. She has a crush on you. And then I showed up the next day after he told me that, and she was doing something. She said something stupid, and I went, you're just being mean to me because you have a crush on me. And then she hit me with that stereotypical 5th grade of like, ew, no, I don't. And I think it was towards the end of the year when she did that, because I remember she signed my hat. Like, you know how you get this, like, you get whatever to get signed by your classmates? And I was getting it signed by everybody, and she signed MP, her initials, with a heart. And I went, see, you signed the hat even. You put a heart on the hat. Just admit it. You have a crush on me. Well, it's Peach's fart party now that Jeff is here.
Yeah.
It was yesterday when we were recording the noon hour of Madness and Mayhem. That
what happened there? You
saw me. No, you didn't. You weren't even paying attention.
No, you
were
dumb
in your
enough
own
to
head.
Tell me about it.
So you were making this face like you were smiling and you were thinking about something. And I thought you would notice me lift up one cheek and just let it rip.
110% didn't.
Right there in front of you in the studio. Then I told you about it. I said, Jeff, I was laughing because we hopped on the air right after that.
Yeah.
And I said, Jeff, did you not notice that I just totally lifted up one side and farted in the studio? And you freaked out. We're like, what? Huh?
Why would you do that to a person?
And then so yesterday, you legitimately, like, fast forward after all of that to where I'm in the studio doing my afternoon show.
Yes, you were.
You walk in and you just let out a fart that was so bad, I thought you honestly left a big mess in your pants.
I actually ran from my office to do that.
It doesn't look like you ran. It looked like
it was a fast walk.
I saw you walk by slowly because I saw a figure go by the window. I'm like, who is that? Like, usually it's Jade. He's wanting to ask me something. I'm like, who's out there? Because I can't, because the hallway's all dark.
Yeah.
And the lights are all on inside the studio, so I can't see. It's like a silhouette every time someone walks by. But yeah, you walked in, farted, and then just left. And that was it. And I've been
I told you why I did it.
And I've been threatening you this whole time that I'm going to let one rip. And I just had Taco Bell for lunch, which wasn't the best idea because they upped my dosage of the GLP-1.
Yeah, if you try and fart in my office, you're going to be leaving a mess in your pants.
Well, also Andrea's office is right next to yours, and I don't want to fart in front of her.
Well, yeah, so I'm in a safe place.
I might risk it. I might risk and be like, Andrea, please close your door. And
you're down here on the other end of the building, and you got no one to save you.
So you walked in just now before we hopped on the air here. You walked in butt first into the studio here.
Well, yeah, I was making a joke.
I thought you were about to do it again.
I mean, I knew you would think that, so I went for it.
They did shut off the water earlier today, and I was so thinking maybe I should just go to the restroom in Jeff's trash can.
Leave my trash can out of this.
just have you sit there and bake with it, huh?
That's messed up, dude.
I wanted to talk to you about something else. Maybe we could do that for the next break because I don't know how I feel about this particular. Actually, I do know how I feel about it. I don't know why I said that, but I wanted to get your opinion on it, okay?
Okay.
Well, it's Peach's Pit Party on K-Bear 101, and my co-host here for the time being, he's 100% real.
I am real.
Jeff is a real person. You can spot him at any show that we have in the near future. Maybe he'll be at the Theory of a Dead Man 7 Dust show.
Sure.
September 23rd. We
Yep.
also got the Godsmack show on the 11th or 10th. The 10th.
Yeah, I'll probably be there too.
Highly Suspect and Yellow Wolf on the 11th.
Definitely going to that one.
So there's a few shows coming up to end 2026, which is awesome.
Yeah.
I still feel like we need more. I'm like that kid from that one movie going, "Can I please, sir? Can I have some more?
Please, sir, can I have another?"
Well, I wanted to bring this up to you. The reason why I said you're a real person is because there's a radio show in LA. This radio station has a great name, Jose 97.5.
That's great.
It's a Spanish station. They're bilingual.
I never would have guessed that, judging by the name.
Oh, no kidding. What if they weren't? What if they were just all metal?
That'd be amazing.
It's just the station's owner was named Jose, so he named it after himself.
That'd be really funny.
You know how there's Hank FM, these country stations named after the famous country singer?
Yeah.
Justin was like, what if we started 105 Willie? And I was like, I kind of like the name 105 Willie, huh?
Somebody's going to take that the wrong way.
Listen to the Willie 105. But anyway, there's this radio show. I think her name's Miss Cleo, something like that. The
psychic lady?
I'll just play you the audio here. She's going to start off by speaking in Spanish, okay?
Okay.
So don't get freaked out here.
It's Gigi y Coyotec. Coyotec, mi amigo inteligente, el más inteligente de todos.
Morning radio has always been about chemistry, the back and forth between the people behind the mics. But inside this Los Angeles studio, one of those voices isn't a person.
Now that's what I'm talking about.
Meet Coyotec.
Hey, NBC. I'm Coyotec.
A bilingual AI-powered radio personality sharing the mic with veteran host Gigi Guzman.
So her co-host is 100% AI.
What? Why would you do that?
I think it'd be hilarious that you just have a conversation with a robot, and I would try my absolute best to just throw it off. I would come up with the dumbest co-host possible. I would think I would have this Idaho redneck guy with the thickest accent possible, and then I would just start berating him on the air just because I think the AI is reactionary. It's going to react to whatever you say.
Oh boy. Yeah,
but it'll
that
do
could
it.
Be fun.
But the way he sounds all excited and outgoing and all of that.
You want yours to sound like,
howdy, y'all.
Hey, guys, what's up?
I got my dip here in the studio. No Idahoan sounds like that. That's just me trying to do a weird, goofy Southern accent, all right? I'm not trying to insult the Idaho people. I'm just thinking, what if I brought in some guy from, some, quote, guy from Kentucky? Oh, Mississippi or one of those.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, calls every soda Coke.
What? Oh, I hate people that do that.
I know. I was talking to Kennedy about soda because I left one up at the front desk for Maddie, and Kennedy's like, "I have a bad relationship with pop," and I was like,
"It is not a pop; it's a soda."
And you're from here,
yeah,
and you say soda like me.
That is the correct term.
Oh yeah, thank you. I'm right there with you.
I mean, soda pop is acceptable, but you don't just call it a pop,
or you call it or like you said in the South, they call it a Coke, and then also you don't call it the I-15. You just call it 15. I took 15 to $45, whatever. I'm
Yeah.
like, that sounds stupid. No wonder they say that in the South. I took the 15, or just I took 15. You know, What if I had that with the AI co-host? just full on berating. I'm going to call him a clanker the entire show.
You'd have to. How could you not?
I think the listeners would find that funny if I'm just insulting some guy. They're like, well, this Peaches guy, he's really mean to this dude.
He's so mean.
But it's not even a real person.
Somebody's going to be dumb enough to think it is, though.
They're going to complain. This guy is making fun of Southern people.
He keeps calling him a clanker, and we don't know what that means.
K-Bear 101, it's Idaho's only rock station. Jeff has left the studio to go do his job, so I'm back here by myself. But anyway, I wanted to talk about this because I don't necessarily want to be mean here. I'm going to sound like it. But why is every GameStop employee why are they so pretentious? Why is it that they're just so mean for no reason? Are they that miserable? Have you ever been inside a GameStop to trade in whatever, your old video games, your consoles, whatever? They're inspecting it like like they're a pawn shop. I mean, they are buying your stuff, but they're also giving you like the worst deal possible. I sold both my Xboxes to GameStop, and I know that that's entirely my fault. Going in, I had the mindset that they were going to give me the worst deal possible, but I just wanted the money, and I was clearing out my place, selling most of my stuff. And I got a decent amount out of them, but I had to go back to my place and grab another controller because they were going to give me even less money because I didn't have this specific controller with it, too. And they were all like mean about it, too. It's like, you guys work at GameStop. Like, why do you have such an attitude? Be happy someone's in the store. I'm not trying to completely just trash on the business anyway, but I was reading. The reason why I'm talking about this is because I saw this story about an Oregon man. He traded in hundreds of broken consoles to GameStop for over $10,000 in-store credit. And they gave him a whole bunch of gift cards. But, physical media is not really going to be a thing, especially if you have a PS5 in the near future. So what exactly is the point of GameStop? They're not going to have any games on display. For the most part, they don't now. Imagine what it's going to be like in 2 years. More plushies, more Funkos. And this guy has over $10,000 in-store credit. He can buy all the Funkos and plushies and whatever weird crap GameStop has, to his heart's desire. You know what? I understand where this band is coming from. There's been this Christian metal band called Demon Hunter. They've been around since 2000. They've been around for 26 years. Netflix comes out with a show last year or 2 years ago called K-Pop Demon Hunters. Becomes this enormous hit. And they're turning it into a live show. So the metal band is just suing Netflix because they say people are getting confused about who Demon Hunter actually is. And apparently there have already been some pretty funny examples of that. The band says they got a ticket refund request from somebody who thought they'd accidentally bought tickets to the wrong thing. There's also an example in the lawsuit of somebody spending $500 on Demon Hunter concert tickets, thinking they were taking their little kids to see K-pop Demon Hunters. And I think I heard Victor talk about this morning. The prime example of those morons out there going to see the Red Not Chili Peppers or the Red Hot Chili Pipers, which is the polka version, the Scottish version of the Red Hot Chili Peppers. There's people that make these mistakes all the time. Wasn't there the Lamb of God classic example? People think they're signing up for a church service. They're paying for this amazing church service. And you find out it's the metal band. Oh, man, that's great. That's great. The band Demon Hunter has been around for quite some time. I do feel bad for them because anytime you search, let me Google search Demon Hunter. It automatically goes to Demon Hunters. And, yeah, it goes right to the TV show. But what's funny is now when you search just Demon Hunter, or when you search just actual Demon Hunter, it says Demon Hunter sues Netflix over K-pop Demon Hunter. So now their whole legacy is going to be that band that sued a TV show. Here's Ice Nine Kills, Twisting the Knife on K-Bear 101. All righty, here we go with today's What the Headline. One of those stories where every sentence gets more ridiculous. Police in Winter Haven, Florida. They were looking for this 24-year-old guy in a felony battery warrant. They show up at his house. His mom answers the door and says, well, he's not here. Police search the house anyway, and they find a mattress on the floor with this giant lump underneath it. They lift up the mattress, He's under there. And then, according to police, the guy starts yelling for his mom. Mom comes running into the room and starts punching a sergeant. Police tase her, arrest her. Then investigators say meth was found on her during a medical evaluation. Yeah, who would have thought that? Another guy at the house was also arrested after police allegedly found meth and drug paraphernalia on him. So this guy was already wanted on a felony warrant. Decided hiding underneath a mattress was the move. And when the cops found him, he called his mom. That is today's What the Headline, right here on K-Bear 101. All right, this is a very unique question that I wanted to talk about here. What's the worst game in the world for parents to play with their kids? My mind automatically went to chess because chess just absolutely sucks. Any chess player out there, they're so pretentious. They're like, oh, I know how to play chess. You're a simpleton. You just don't understand. They're the tool listeners of board games. And there's always like that one person in the family, the friend group, whatever, that's obsessed with playing these board games that are just too complex for no reason. You ever just sitting there, you're vibing with your friends, you get that one D-bag that comes up the stairs holding a box that has Catan on the inside. You're like, what the heck, dude? It's like it's worse than the guy who brings out the guitar. All right, you're just trying to chill by the fireplace, the fire pit, whatever. This guy pulls out the whole D&D kit. Let's start a campaign. What's the worst game in the world for parents to play with their kids? Mousetrap, one of the responses here. Takes forever to set up. Half the time doesn't work properly when triggered. The worst. Candyland, zero skill, pure luck. I lose every time. Chutes and ladders. Monopoly, it's too long. You need to be ruthless to win. Absolutely you do. I think Monopoly is awesome. That's a fun game. Played that all throughout 2020. My friends were online. We'd play it on the Xbox. We would team up against one of our friends. He would start rage. He would start raging real hard. He always had the best reactions too. Maybe that's the reason why people hate Monopoly. Is because we just, you pick on that one person. Anyway, here's Sublime Until the Sun Explodes on K-Bear. I need to ask Lieutenant Crane about this. I was reading something funny here about how police officers can have a daily goal. This Connecticut State Police sergeant sent messages to a group of troopers telling them to shoot for at least 18 traffic stops a day. He even followed up one weekend by congratulating them after they made 21 stops. Now, Connecticut apparently has banned police ticket quotas since 1991, but there's a little bit of a gray area here because the sergeant didn't say write 18 tickets. He said 18 traffic stops, and most of those stops don't actually end up in a ticket. State police say a lot of them end with written or verbal warnings. Still, if I'm driving through Connecticut and I see a police officer sitting there thinking, I got 11 more to hit today, I get a little nervous, The sergeant even told them to dust off their radar guns, get fresh batteries. I feel like that's how when I was targeted for getting a speeding, going 31 and a 25, this guy was just chilling in this little tiny section. And I thought the speed limit was 35 because it says posted right there, speed limit 35, but that was apparently up ahead further, something like that. You can tell that cop just wanted to meet his quota. Anyway, I'll make sure to put this on the traffic school notes for Friday, powered by the Advocates. Thanks for listening to Peach's Pit Party, the podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please share, subscribe, and rate the podcast. Peach's Pit Party is hosted by me, Peaches, a.k.a. Brendan Peach, and is a production of Riverbend Media Group. For more information or to contact the show, visit riverbendmediagroup.com. Until next time, Peach out.